Another couple of seconds and we go live. And here we are today. We're 5 o'clock and it's that time of the evening. Good evening, everyone. And a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us at Sipping Thoughts today in what I believe is going to be a heartwarming and interesting session about the 3 soft skills that enhance our emotional well-being. These, of course, being gratitude, self-compassion, and emotional regulation, which help all of us to lead more enriching and fulfilling lives. I'm delighted to be joined by Rhythm Malhotra today, who is an extremely talented, vibrant, and beautiful young woman from my coaching community, I'm proud to say, as I have an immense respect for her and for the work that she does. I think the younger generation today is more emotionally and mentally sound thanks to the work that people like her do. Rhythm Malhotra is a people skills coach, etiquette consultant, and the founder of the Skillette School. Her work is dedicated to empowering people and aiming them with confidence, and she does it with great skill. She has imparted over 5,000 hours of training to people from all walks of life. She is a strong believer in the power of human connection and believes that to cherish it fully, one must be truly aligned with their thoughts, actions, and behavior, which is the knowledge that she imparts. Rhythm also uses her voice to talk about gender equality and spreads awareness about mental health issues. You all know that you will all be put on mute, but please do keep interacting and keeping it as interactive and alive a session as possible, because this is what this is all about. Please do keep chatting with us and putting in your questions or any thoughts in the chat box. And we will be asking you to, interact with us throughout the session today. So Rhythm, welcome to this session today. And I'm, like I mentioned, so excited about this. And it is such a pleasure to be finally here with you. You know, we planned this a couple of months ago, and of course it wasn't meant to be. And here we are finally. So a warm welcome to you as well.
Thank you so much, Ms. Valia. And thank you so much for a beautiful introduction. And I must say that I share the equal admiration that you have for me, for you, because not just for your work, but also for the kind of human you are. So I have deep admiration for you. And I'm so glad that we are doing this. And definitely we were supposed to do it a few months back. It didn't happen. This is the best time. And I am so happy that we are doing it now. Thank you once again.
So Rhythm, I want to kickstart today's session by asking you a few questions. First, I would like to ask you about your daily routine, and why I'm asking you this today is I see you so active on social media, and I kind of wonder how it is that you kind of take out that time, the energy and the passion that you have for it. So if you could just share with me something about your daily routine, what is it that you do?
Definitely. So for that, I'll actually change the bit of introduction that you gave, because I am an etiquette consultant and a people skills coach. And lockdown also made me a content creator. So that is why I think it seems a lot of work. But generally, I start my day, and the first thing that I do is, I'm talking about my health. What I do for my health is like I do oil pulling. And I just happen to tell that to everyone because that has also become one of my morning rituals. So I'll have oil in my mouth and I'll play on some song, make my bed and groove. So that is, those 10 minutes in the morning are the best 10 minutes of the day, because that sets the tone of how my entire day is going to go. So that is how I start my day. I don't say that I work out in the morning, because I like to work out in the evening and I like to read in the evening. I don't do all of that in the morning, but my morning starts with a bit of dance and I pick that up from Big Boss. That's the only thing that I can do with the Big Boss. I must. So that is how I start. Making my bed is a definite thing that I do. Oil pulling is the definite thing, and playing some songs. Even if I'm in a sad mood, I'll still play a sad song and I groove a little or stretch a little, but I'll do that. So that's something happens every day with me. And managing Instagram, I don't show up before 11:30 or 12. Like majority of times I have tried when I start my work at 10. So for 1.5 hours, I like to manage, and maybe I have sessions planned. So I don't like to go before 12 o'clock on social media, because I know no matter how much we train ourselves, we are like to spend those 15 or 20 minutes extra in the, when we go online. So I don't want to start off like that and feel bad about wasting my time. So that's a thing that I have set for myself, that 11 or 12 is when I go online. And regarding taking our time for content creation, it generally happens when I'm done with my session. Majority of things that I actually talk about on the internet are the things that I'll be having a dialogue with one of my clients. So it's not something pre-designed. Of course, we do content creation pre-designing also now, because now it's become a part of the business. But majorly it comes like if I'm having a conversation with my client and there's something pops up and I'm like, oh, this is what everybody should know. So right after my session, I'll switch on the camera and I'll record that. So that's how the content is unique, one, and two, it is not very it's different, I would say.
Right. So, and I agree completely. It is different, and a lot of young people look up to you. But tell me, Rhythm, another thing I want to know is, how come you focus so much on mental and emotional well-being?
So that comes from my personal experience. And when I say personal experience, I don't say that I have had, clinically depressed or anything like that. No, I wouldn't say that. But when I was younger, I believe, it's a belief that I feel anything that comes into the world, any discovery that happens or any invention that happens, actually happens, that person needed that thing. Right? Or whether you talk about a certain kind of book, a certain kind of product, that person needed it. And they thought everybody would like it if it was available in the market. So for me, same thing happened. When I was younger, I didn't have somebody I could look up to. I could talk my heart out and I could confide in. So I didn't have that person. So I became that person. And emotional and mental health, we weren't talking about it 10 years back. Right. So when I was in school, when I was in college, I have a big smile and that's always been there, a constant thing on my face. But during my younger years, I've used it as a mask to hide my emotions, to hide what I was really feeling and truly feeling. And because it was a smile, nobody saw who the real Rhythm was. And I didn't want that to happen to the generation today. So I became that person, and that's how I talk so much about emotional health and mental health.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
So you're trying to fill the void that you felt you had in your childhood.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So without further ado, Rhythm, I hand over the session to you and let's start.
Great. So welcome everybody. We are 150 of us, and I just want to thank all of you for joining in for the session. And like you already know, we are going to be talking about three top soft skills that can change not just your professional life, but also enhance your personal life. And with that, we are going to divide the whole session into three segments. We'll have gratitude, self-compassion, and emotional regulation. And I'm going to start with gratitude, and I'm going to start with a story. But before I start, what I want all of you to do is, if all of you can switch on your cameras and I can see your faces, it'll be great, because I, as a person, I'm a very kinesthetic trainer. I like to be present when I'm training, and I think it's a mutual respect. So if everybody could join, everybody could, switch on their cameras, it'll be great. And anytime when you have a question, I would love for you to raise your hand. Right? I would love for you to raise your hand and ask me questions and make it a very, very interactive sessions. I am not a fan of just giving gyan. I want you to experience that gyan and, just understand that hame gyan milta hai, that is like, so I would say that that's just knowledge, but knowledge is only becomes powerful. How they say, Tina, like knowledge is powerful, but knowledge is only powerful when you're making use of that knowledge. Otherwise, it's not powerful. So what we are going to do in this session is we are going to experience that knowledge and not just listen to it, right? So I can see a few cameras on. So thank you so much for doing that. Hi again. I can see some familiar faces also. So thank you once again. Diving right into it, gratitude. So story goes on how I actually started practicing gratitude. So it started when I was very younger, very young, and it a little bit background here about my family. I come from a very religious and a very pious family. So we had a lot of parts and pujas and visits to mandir and gurdwaras, a lot, right? And whenever I was asked to like go and pray, like fold my hands, I had this performance anxiety. Ki abhi mere piche, there are people who come. So I have to like fatafat se make a quick pray and move. And I had so many things to ask for. और उस time मैं decide नहीं कर पाती थी, right? I would never be able to decide. So the only under my that performance anxiety, I would just say thanks for everything. So that was one prayer I was saying. Or the next prayer I was saying was keep the loved ones, my loved ones, happy and safe. Okay. So it happened by accident. I didn't know that I was doing what I was doing, right? I didn't even know it was called gratitude. So that's how it started. And I believe only in my adult years, when I started having conversations with my friends, colleagues, and people my age, I realized I had a little better level of contentment than my peers. And when we would talk, they would always say, oh, I wanted this, I didn't get it, I prayed for it so hard. And I would always think, why don't I feel that much? Of course, my life has not been just a bed of roses, but still I felt the contentment level that I had was somewhere a little better, right? And I started studying like why, what is it that I do different? And that's when I came across this term called gratitude. And that's when I realized कि ये चीज जो मैं गलती से प्रे कर रही हूँ, गलती से जो मैं थैंक यू बोलती हूँ कि मेरे पास इतना टाइम नहीं है, मैं इतनी कंफ्यूज्ड हूँ, वो जो गलती से मैं थैंक यू बोल रही हूँ, वही एक्चुअली इज हेल्पिंग मी, एंड दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई फील दैट लेवल ऑफ कंटेंटमेंट. So that's how it started, and it was very recent that I learned about it. And by recent, I mean, let's say 5 to 7 years that I learned about the term gratitude, and I started researching about it, and I started learning how important it is. So that was a little story that I wanted to share. And now I want to ask all of you, do you believe in practicing gratitude? Do you practice gratitude? If you could just raise your hand and let me know, do you practice gratitude? I would love for all of you to share that.
So, yes, Kiran, please share. Kiran, Kalyani, Siddharth Sharma.
So, okay, and 9 participants raised their hand. Great. A lot of you are raising your hands.
All right. Just give me a second. If we could just get Kiran to unmute, please. Okay. How about Nikita? Nikita?
Yeah, guys, please come. Please come and talk. We want to see who you are, and we are just as human as you are. So hello, please come up.
A very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Kiran.
Hi, Kiran.
Yes, ma'am. And I love to see you today in this session. And thank you so much for giving the opportunity to attend this session. And coming to gratitude, then daily, every day I used to practice, and I make my child to do practice also. As you said, when you are in front of the God, simply holding the hands and thank you for everything. In the same way, my daughter also used to do the same thing every day.
Okay.
So I started teaching her to how to gratitude ourselves, whatever we have. So we should gratitude to the God, the way we are living, the way we are having the things. So in that way, I used to teach my daughter, even I also follow the same. So if I'm smiling, so I should gratitude about this to the God.
Great. Thank you so much, Kiran, for that. So,
Yes.
can I get like a thumbs up? Do you believe in gratitude, right? Do you believe in gratitude? Kiran, I'm asking you.
Yes, she says yes.
Okay.
There's a thumbs up there.
So, do we have somebody who does not believe in the power of gratitude? Do we have somebody like that? Maybe you can just raise your hand here on Zoom using that emotion, the reaction bit, and okay, we have a few hand raises.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah, people who do not believe in the power of
Yes.
gratitude. Can I have you just type down maybe the reason why it does not work for you?
I'm waiting for a few responses. Let's see. Somebody, Kirti says that she's never really practiced it.
Okay. All right. So that's okay. If you don't have anybody sharing any, if we just have people who.
So Harshita saying what she wants to know, what are the benefits of it. Amrita says experienced a lot of pain in my life. Richa says I tried it for a few months during lockdown. And okay, so Anjani Bhatia, could we unmute her please, because she would like to share her experience. Anjani Bhatia, could we unmute her?
That's him, ma'am. I am Anjani Bhatia.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
good
I'm
evening,
sorry.
everyone.
Please
No,
excuse
that's
me.
okay. I've been facing that the last 28 years, and all gratitude to this as well.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I have a very small story to share. In 2011, I actually underwent through a surgery. Okay. And that was actually tonsillitis, and I used to face some kind of bumps in my throat, and I could not eat, could not speak properly, and there was a lot of trouble in my throat. And it was a very minor surgery, and I think after 2 or 3 days when I recovered partially, I was able to feel that something is better in my throat now. I'm able to eat properly. Earlier there used to be some hurdle in my throat, but now it's gone. So I just went to that doctor and I offered my, gratitude, my thanks to him. And I said it like n number of times. I mean, it was because I was highly overwhelmed with what all, the change I experienced. But then this a sudden thought actually struck my mind that this is just a doctor. I mean, he just cured my problem and I'm thanking him like n number of times. I've got this whole healthy body, this environment around. I've never thanked the nature for that. Like I own that much, I can speak to you. I have these resources where in the lockdown I can work from home, I have a beautiful house to stay in. I have so many more things. We have good trainers like Rhythm, we never thank nature for that, for giving us such, blessings. So from there, this gratitude thing originated in me. And since that day, I also experienced the same thing which Rhythm mentioned, that I've been, more contented, more, the level of contentment is more as compared to peers around me. So that's a success story I wanted to share. And thank you for allowing me to share this.
Thank you, Anjani. Thank you so much. Great. So all those, I'm also reading a few comments which say that somebody has a client, they say it doesn't work for them. And yes, and there's someone, Siddharth talks about how nowadays gratitude has become the basis of materialism, right? We practice gratitude on basis of materialism. So that's what I want to come to. हमें बचपन से क्या सिखाया जाता है? Oh, that uncle got you chocolate, thank him. Oh, you didn't study, but you scored still better marks, thank your stars. You got saved by that accident, thank your stars. So what we've been taught since the beginning is that gratitude comes only after abundance. So that's one reason, right? That's one myth that all of us have, ki gratitude tab aata hai when we have something, when we've got something. So that is wrong, right? And to change the wires of our brain, to rewire our brain and the way our brain thinks, we have to consciously practice it. So what I want all of you to do is practice gratitude right now. And I'll tell you how. Okay. First, when you thank somebody, don't just thank them as just thank you. right? Be more specific. So like how Anjani even mentioned that he thanked the doctor, he thanked him, he was overwhelmed, so he must have thanked him for everything, for being empathetic, for caring for him, for giving him the right advice. So he was very, very specific there. And another example right now, I mean, we are almost 200 of us, and when I'm thanking you, I'm not saying thank you for coming and attending my session. What I truly mean is thank you to all 200 of you for coming here, believing in me, and giving 1 hour of your life. I mean, I just, that's the power I feel. That's how beautiful I feel right now. And that's the amount of gratitude I have for each of you. And I'm being specific here, right? I'm not just saying, oh, thanks for coming. I really mean it when I say, my whole emotion, my whole system inside changes when I'm more specific. So be specific is one thing. Be specific for what you are grateful for. And second, look for opportunities, right? Now, again, taking my example, I am a trainer and I train on an everyday basis. So if I just say what is even different here, right? I would not see it as something huge. So look for opportunities to thank. That is the second thing. And third thing is, you may say ki itna kuch galat ho raha hai, how can I be grateful for things? It's toxic positivity. I don't want you to do that. I want you to convert your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. For an example, if you're having something is not working right for you. So think about that and tell me what is the learning that's coming out of it, and what kind of an opportunity does that problem bring, right? So you take these 3 steps. This is how you practice gratitude, and I want all of you to maybe take a minute and practice gratitude right now and tell me how you feel. Can I see a thumbs up? I actually can only see Anjani right now on my screen. Miss Tina, could you just...
Yes, I think most people have switched off their cameras.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
if we could just have them back on.
Yes, please. I would love to see all of you, and if all of you could just do this one little activity for just 2 minutes and see the difference for yourself. So maybe you can ask yourself how you're feeling right now, and then start to think of a situation or a person or something that we aren't taught about being grateful. हमें सबको बोला गया है कि खाने के लिए thankful हो, nature के लिए thankful हो. Of course, those are things that we take for granted. But right now, I want you to define what you want to be grateful for.
So,
I don't want...
Rhythm, somebody wants you to repeat the 3 steps. First was being specific. If you could mention the other 2 as well.
So be specific is one. Then second is look for an opportunity, right? Look for an opportunity to be thankful for. And third is, first is you're being specific. Second is looking for an opportunity. And third is turning your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. So if there is a limiting situation, if there is something not going right for you, think what is the positive outcome of it. So just change your perspective there, right? These 3 things, and try and practice it. Like right now, I want all of you to just try it right now. Can you, I mean, are you all trying? Please, guys, switch on your cameras. I would love to see you. I know there is rain. I know a lot of people.
Another thing we need to be thankful about. Yeah. Finally, rain.
Finally, rain. Definitely. So, okay.
If you all could share your thoughts with us on the chat, we would be thankful to you for that.
Thank you, Anu, for, I understand it's bad network, and I completely understand that. Thank you for mentioning it here. But anyway, I hope you all are doing this practice, and I want you to give me a thumbs up and tell me about how you were feeling 2 minutes prior to doing this activity, and what you feel after doing this activity. If I can get a thumbs up, thumbs down, does it make a difference? Does it not make a difference? How does it feel?
I think personally for me, when you do practice gratitude, it's more like fairy dust, right? It a little bit rubs off on you as well. So you do good, and little bit of good rubs off on you as well. That is my personal feeling about it.
Yes, absolutely, Tina. I mean, that's how it is. You practice gratitude, and then things happen. Like, that's what I'm saying. We've been taught कि जब कुछ मिलेगा तब thank you करना है. But it's the other story, you know. The story does not go like that. It's when you are thankful, do you feel satisfied? Otherwise, there is no. I mean, there are endless things that we want. There is
So
no
a lot of people are sharing thumbs up, Rhythm. I want to actually share something here. Rhythm has come out with this gratitude journal, which she has called the yellow, journal. And a lot of people vouch for it on her social media because it has helped them navigate their life in a more structured and grateful manner, if you can call it that, and help enrich their lives, and which is what this session is all about. So if you could just share a little bit more about that, Rhythm, what made you think about coming out with a journal such as that? Did you research about it? How did it just happen?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry, Tina. I think there are a few people who are answering to our questions. Like,
Sure.
People are, they have done the activity and they're quite liking it.
Yes.
That's what we see, feeling great feeling when you do it consciously. And
so, yes, Himani says, I feel more mindful and light by practicing gratitude. Siddharth says how gratitude makes humans more conscious towards their environment as natural disasters, and it is important to all who are conscious or not, as or nor this is the reality as it is. Smrita says, grateful to sipping thoughts that we are gaining as much knowledge in the lockdown scenario. Abhishek says, great feeling when you do it consciously. So a lot of people are sharing their positive thoughts about practicing gratitude, Rhythm.
So that's, I mean, coming back to your question, I saw it not just in me, like when things changed for me, when, when I understood that I was practicing gratitude, then I started doing it consciously and things changed for me. And when I talked about it to my friends, I would tell them, oh, why don't you do something, why don't you start practicing it in a journal? Why don't you start writing it along with other things? Things changed for them also, right? So it wasn't just me who it was helping, but also my friends, my very, very close friends who believed in me, and it started working for them. That's when I thought that maybe the world needs it, right? We have so many journals in the market, and right now I'm not making a sales pitch, but again, this product also comes from something that I felt wasn't there in the market. And not just the people who bought the journal, but also one of the philosophies that we follow at the Skillette School is also gratitude. So any of my client who comes on board, they have to write at least one gratitude letter. So I have made all of them believe in the power of gratitude. And that is what I was trying to do here. When I asked you that question, I wanted you to feel the immense power and the way you feel in just 2 minutes. You could be sad and somebody comes and tells you, think of one thing that you're grateful for. And that very moment, if your mind goes to something that, oh, wow, I'm sitting in a good place, I have a job in hand, or anything that you were taking for granted, your mindset shifts, your stress level is reduced. So these are scientific facts, okay? When I say your stress level reduces, I have some numbers and figures to even tell you here. That if you are going to practice gratitude journal for 2 weeks, your cortisol level is going to drop down to 23%. Right? 10%, your sleep is going to get better. And your serotonin and your dopamine, which are known to be the feel-good hormones, that are released, right? So it's not just me talking about it, and it's not just others talking about gratitude. Science says it. Science has backed with facts and figures that it works. Right? So even though I couldn't have a lot of answers here, I really hope all of you actually tried this activity and you felt the difference. Like really, you could feel the difference in 2 minutes, right? So that is the power of gratitude. And if we don't have any questions, I would like to move on to another section that we have, which is self-compassion and emotional regulation, right? Now here again, I have planned an activity and I would love for all of you to again come and talk about it. When we are at the, when we are present, there are two kind of voices in our head at any given point, right? So there is a good voice. If you remember the movies, we see this devil and we see one angel, right? So if you can visualize it that way. So at any given point of time, we have these two voices in our head that are, you can call it drums. With the drums, one of them is like cheering and the other one is giving you a slow drum, slow clap thing. So ये दो type के हमारे अंदर voices होती हैं. Right now, I want all of you to again be very, very conscious right now of the voice that is dominant in your head right now. Right now, I again want all of you to please answer, because you can type in your answers, because I want it to be interactive. I like I mentioned, I don't want it to be a Gyan Bazi session. I want you to experience the Gyan and then make a decision for yourself. Do you want to practice it? Don't believe rhythm. Don't believe anybody in the world. Believe yourself. So how can you believe yourself is when you practice it, see the benefit, and then make a decision, right? So tell me what is that voice inside telling you? Okay, negative.
Negative dominates.
Negative
Fear of talking. One that makes me lazy. Inner voice, negative. Negative is overpowering. Some say the feel good is better. Some say the conscious they hear. Positive dominates. So I think it's a mixed batch here.
Right.
Challenges around, how could I judge? So all kinds of responses, rhythm.
Yeah. So I think that's the question. How could you judge? So Rishi, how can you judge is, let's say if I was on the other side of the table, I could be hearing, I could be present and listening to a conversation. And दो type के मेरे दिमाग में thoughts हो सकते हैं. Oh, even I can be where this person is, right? Inspiring. So you're getting inspired and you could feel, oh, even I could do it. So that is a positive self-talk that, even I can be there. Second talk could be, there are so many people like her here. Why do I even make an effort? So ये तुम्हारा डरा हुआ आवाज है. The fear stopping you, right? So whatever we do, there are opposing thoughts. Right? There always एक thought है तो उसके opposing thoughts होते हैं कि opposing ideas होते हैं. One is a positive, one is negative. So what we have to do is we have to train ourselves कि जो हमारा वो positive वाला है, we tune up that volume, and the one which is the negative self-talk, right? We need to tune down that volume. And how do we do that? Is by being friend to ourselves. Right? And with that, I again want to give you an example, in moment example, and tell you and derive the whole point here. Miss Tina, if I could use, because your video is there, I would love to ask you a situation, and
Sure.
I want to ask you, how would you react in that situation, right?
Sure.
So imagine there was a friend of yours, let's say Ridhima, okay?
Okay.
She had a fight with her son, and now her son has blamed everything on the mother and says that however whatever bad happening in his life is because of you, like is because of Ridhima, right? Now Ridhima comes to you, she's calling you up and she's crying and she's saying, oh, my son doesn't love me, and I'm a bad mother, and all the bad things. What is it that you would tell her? How would you console her?
Tricky, but something that I think we all as mothers face. So I would probably just tell her that, it's the teenage hormones that are acting up. He doesn't know any better. He's probably frustrated or depressed about a certain situation in his life, and he doesn't know how to deal with the situation. And, he wants to blame somebody, and you're the person that is closest or nearest to him. So he's doing that to you. So don't take it personally, and just deal with it, and this too shall pass. So something to that effect, I guess.
So if Ridhima says, no, Tina, I am a bad mother, what would be your reaction be there? What would you say there?
So then, considering that she is a good friend, I would walk her through her past journey and explain to her that there have been plenty of, past moments where I have been around and she has been a great mother, and give her those examples to show her otherwise.
Okay. Now, my question to you, Tina, is what if you were in Ridhima's place? What if it was you who had a fight with your son and your son was blaming everything on you? What is that dialogue that you would have with yourself?
Oh my. Okay, this happens quite a bit. Okay. So you're normally, being a mother, Rhythm, you go on this huge guilt trip, and you kind of keep replaying that situation in your mind, and you think, what if, and why did I need to say this and respond in a certain way, and I could have dealt with it better. वो तो बच्चा है, मुझे तो ज्यादा समझ होनी चाहिए थी, or stuff like that. So you are normally very harsh on yourself.
So now I hope the point that I wanted to make is very clear. अगर best friend के साथ हुआ है, we are the biggest cheerleaders. We have all the best words in the world to tell them. We choose we choose nicest words from our vocabulary and we apply it for them. But when it comes to ourselves, we are we are so harsh, like you mentioned, and that is where everything just falls apart. The self-talk that we are having is so bad. So what we need to realize, in order to be self-compassionate, we need to be our own friends. We need to really love ourselves, right? So we hear about so much on Instagram and on the internet. Oh, self-care Sundays, put on a mask sheet, go for a massage, or you go for a whatever, pedicure and manicure, all of that. But that is self-care. That is not self-love. It's a part of self-love, but it is not really self-love, right? And that is what I wanted to tell you here, that self-talk is so important. You have to become friends with your inner voice. You have to start treating yourself as your best companion, right? So whenever you have a situation like that, whenever you have a situation wherein you feel that you've let down someone or you've let yourself down, at that time, all you need to do is detach yourself from the person who's committed the mistake, from the person who you are in real, right? So I always say, become your own coach, become your own parent, become your own best friend, and talk yourself in the most compassionate way. Because when you start doing that, everything changes, right? Everything changes. Your mindset is going to change. The way you feel about yourself is going to change. Your self-esteem, your self-confidence, the things that, everybody right now, not everybody, but a lot of people suffer is because they don't have a good self-talk, is that they are not compassionate to themselves. And yet we hear people talk about or empower on Instagram saying, be compassionate to others, be kind to others. But hey, how can you be kind to others when you are not kind to yourself, right? It all starts within. So that is what I wanted to tell. If you start being compassionate towards yourself, you are not just going to help yourself, you're not just going to lead a better and a more fulfilling life, but you're also going to be a change maker in the world, right? And again, this comes from my personal experience. I've been the harshest on myself in my younger days, right? And I didn't know why would I do that. I mean, I didn't know how could I make sense of it. How could I talk myself in a more compassionate way? I expected it from others, right? That's what all of us do. हम लोगों से expect करते हैं कि वो हमें बहुत empathetically समझाएं, but we don't do it ourselves. So again, like I said, you have to all start being your own friend, and that comes with first becoming aware, emotional regulation, right? Kaise self-talk, how do we even know we are good to us or not good to us? We have to first become aware what our self-talk is. So at any given point of time, you can just stop yourself and do a quick check. What am I feeling, and what emotion I'm feeling, and what are the other feelings that I'm having, right? And that brings me a little more I wanted to discuss here. Feelings and emotions are two different things, okay? A lot of us actually confuse between the two. Feelings are what our sensory organs give, right? It could be what you are touching right now, what you are tasting. All of that is your feeling, right? वो आपके sensory organ से आता है, and your emotions come from your thoughts. So you have to become aware of your thoughts. That is the first step in emotional regulation. You become aware of your self-talk, and then you detach yourself. You detach yourself from the person instead of going and asking for help. And here, let me put a disclaimer. I'm not saying asking for help is wrong. I do myself ask for help, okay, a lot. Professional, personal, I do that all the time. But आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि अगर इतनी कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है and it just you're having a bad day, try and becoming your own coach, try and becoming your own friend. So detach yourself from the person that you are and the person that you really are, or try and have a dialogue with yourself and make that dialogue a very, very good dialogue, right? A very positive dialogue, or even if you want to scold yourself, but in a good way, right? Become your own parent. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. So self-compassion is extremely important, and that's how you do it. Any questions here I would love to take up.
So there are questions, Rhythm, if we are done with self-compassion and emotional regulation.
I believe we can take up questions.
All right. Yes. So if Baljeet could share her question with us.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Hello to everyone, and I'm actually teacher, and I'm teaching physiotherapy students. And from last 2 years, we know that because of this pandemic, all the students sometimes have to go to online learning, and then they come back to college for some time again online. So they have a lot of pressure, because earlier they used to learn physically in front of the teacher, and now all the things are online. So there is a constant pressure on them that whether they'll be able to match up to their levels of academic attainment. So how can we help them emotionally and mentally to pass through this difficult time?
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Baljeet, for the question. And I truly understand that it's happening with the best of us. However, what you can do and what your students can do is, one, change their mindset. I know it's hard and I know it's difficult to actually practice, but we have to, right? We have to see that if they were going to college, they had lesser time, right? They had lesser time on their hands because they were, they would spend time during their travel, and a lot of time gets wasted there. So they have to start seeing the positives of online learning, right? That's one thing. Once they shift their mindset, they will feel that, okay, not everything is that bad that they are thinking. So one, have them change their mindset. And second, feeling that peer pressure, I again get that. There again, they need to start working on themselves. They need to really gratitude, like I've already mentioned, does help a lot. It really does help a lot in changing the way you think and in the way you feel. So being grateful can really help here, and also learning. I believe what today online learning and all that we see on the internet is doing is, we have stopped appreciating others, and that is where the problem is starting. So peer pressure comes when we see, oh, that person is doing better than me. I am lacking. I am not doing enough. So हम इसको कैसे change कर सकते हैं? When we start appreciating others. And trust me when I say it, it works, right? When you appreciate someone else, when you clap for someone else, it makes you feel better. And envy, जो आपका feeling of enviousness है, वो तो कम हो जाता है. It in fact also motivates you to be better. So these are the two things I believe they can do. One is change their perspective and start feeling grateful for the things that are there that wouldn't be possible if they were, in the normal offline school, college. And the other thing is start appreciating others. वहाँ से peer pressure नहीं आएगा. And maybe they'll be motivated and they'll learn something from their peers. So that is my answer to you, Dr. Baljeet.
I hope that helped, Dr. Baljeet. Okay. Rhythm, would you like to continue, or should we take up a few more questions?
We can have one more question, and then I think I have another activity plan, and that's a concluding activity. So we'll do it there. I believe.
Or we could do your concluding activity and take up the audience questions post that.
Sure. However, that helps.
All right.
So the last activity, when we talk about self-compassion, right? We are just not talking about the talk that we are having, the inner voice. But what I also want to tell you is, especially nowadays that we are living in the world, where virtual hugs are very, very common. are kinesthetic. We have to, touch is something that humans are born, hugs and everything. They again help with our hormonal, your serotonin and your endorphins. These all, oxytocin is the main hormone that gets released when you hug someone. And that's a feel good hormone, right? So self-compassion up banenge is always keep patting yourself and also hug yourself, right? And again, it may sound like isse kya hoga, but isse bahut kuch hoga, and I want all of you to try it. I would have loved agar aap sab I could see all of you, but really, like, even if your videos are off, just hug yourself and just feel like my hands are also not reaching, but just say one good thing to yourself. What you would want your lover to see you. And by lover, I mean your mother, your personal relationship, anybody, any pat on your back, any way you want to love yourself, and tell me how you feel. I think, and that I just want to tell you that you are what you need. All that you need in the world, you have it, right? So just do it and tell me. Give me a thumbs up and whatever, how you're feeling about it.
I
Because
feel good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, these days it feels great, feeling motivated and
Yes.
loved.
Kiran says, feel lovely. And Siddharth Sharma says, yes, that's what it is, about the positive approach. Mridula says, I feel appreciated. Sarthak, cathartic. Jayavardhan feels great. So a lot of positivity all around. Happy tears by Rishita.
Love. Thank you so much. I believe, I think this just makes me so overwhelmed, seeing that all of you just felt better. That's the whole point of any session. If you're feeling better about yourself, you're feeling good about yourself, I think we've done our job. So thank you so much there. And I'm so
Rhythm. And now from today, I don't need anybody else. My children can be busy and I can hug myself.
I believe, because the more we love ourselves, I believe hum bakiyon ke liye, the people who are around us, we become better humans to them also. Otherwise, what happens, taking your example, Ms. Tina, so it's like you're saying, the moment you say ki bacche mere busy hain, so I don't need them. So that means when you, I'm sorry, I think there's a connection. Yeah, fine, back. So sometimes what happens is we are expecting so much out of other people that it not just drains us, but also drains the other, right? Especially today, kids are, their lives are very different. I mean, there is a generation gap between me and my parents, and I'm sure you and your kids. So I'm sure there is already a generation gap. And if we can, if we can be just good to ourselves, we are going to be good to people around us. And that's what helps in building relationships. So be great to yourself, keep hugging yourself, pat yourself on the back. You don't need anyone else's patting, right? I mean, it's always good, but agar koi nahi kar raha hai, cheer yourself up. That's one thing I say. And it's always going to make you feel better.
Thanks. Well said.
So many people are feeling good, and I'm feeling so good after reading the comments. Thank you again.
Now they'll feel better once you address their questions, Rhythm.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. So let's begin with Siddharth Sharma.
Do we?
Astha Arora, okay. Astha Arora. Could you share your question, please?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to all. And ma'am, my question is, ma'am, as you said that you have to pamper yourself and you have to do self-talk. I actually did that in the lockdown, but I felt in the last, I felt so low and depressed at the same point. So I don't know how to talk with yourself, like how to motivate yourself. So yeah, this is my question, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Astha. And I just want to tell you, when I say that you have to help yourself, you have to first see, agar bahut time se aapko aisa lag raha hai that you are feeling sad and depressed and lonely, if these are the words that are coming up every day, okay, for more than, let's say, 3 weeks, there is a possibility that you may need professional help. Okay, and there is no harm, and there is no feeling embarrassed about the fact, because all of us at any point of time have gone to the therapist. I mean, these days it's so open, right? So one is that kahin baar hame hota hai ki we can't handle our things ourselves, and I say that last year I was in a position like that I didn't know, or giving gyan, knowing all these things, it wasn't helping me. So I did go for 2 therapy sessions, and I was
I'm sorry about that.
yeah, no problem. So it's absolutely okay if you don't feel fine, and if you're not able to help yourself, to go and ask for help, right? So that's one suggestion that I would give you, that if you're feeling a certain way since a long time, then maybe it's time that you ask for professional help, and there is no harm in that. There is no shame in that. And if it is not the case, if you don't need professional help, what you could do is maybe take a piece of paper and talk to yourself. Like I said, detach yourself from the person who you are and the person who's feeling a certain thing, right? Maybe how you would want a therapist to talk to you. We need a fit. So if you are not finding a fit, maybe talk to yourself the way you would talk to your best friend. So detach yourself, and that's how you talk. It may help that way. And I hope
Yes.
that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Asta. Take care.
Okay. Harshita, are you there?
Akib had a question. He's unmuted.
Okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
So, hi, good evening, everyone. Regarding self-talk, so this I have experienced during my tough times also. I used to introspect, and I used to talk with myself, what all are the issues and where all I'm lacking. So according to that, I used to work, and this has helped in many ways. But when it comes to appreciation and patting yourself, as Rhythm said, that was going against me. Like that takes it to a overconfidence kind of, and it doesn't motivate me to work better. So that has never worked out. Whenever I have tried to appreciate and pat myself, as she said, it never really worked out. Like I was little overconfident and I was missing the targets. So like, is it the wrong way I've done it, or how can we improve on that part?
Great. Thank you so much for that question. And I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Akib.
Akib. All right. So I'll tell you. Firstly, congratulations that you are so aware of yourself. You know where you are even going wrong. So I would say that calling yourself overconfident is not really the right thing, because you are somebody who's very grounded. Because only a grounded person can actually see when they are being overconfident. So a better word I would say for you is that you're very grounded. And coming to your second part of the question that said that जब आप overconfident हो जाते हो, and things are then maybe वो slow down, जो आप कर रहे हो, you are not enough motivated. वो एक हमारा there is a concept called instant gratification. Right? What we see, अगर हम कुछ plan कर रहे हैं, for an example, if I plan to launch a product, and if I go and tell everybody about it. So let's say मैं ही कुछ plan कर रही हूँ, अपना example लेके देती हूँ. If I'm planning a product, I tell my teammates, I tell Tina, I tell everybody, all 200 of you. All of you start pouring in your congratulations, wow, Rhythm, congratulations for doing all this. So जो gratification मुझे product launch के बाद मिलना था, वो तो मुझे अभी मिल गया. So now humans are designed that way. We like to be lazy. So जो मुझे अच्छी चीज 2 महीने बाद मिलनी थी, when I would have launched a product, I have started feeling the same way right now. तो वो 2 महीने बाद, 4 महीने बाद आए. What's the point? I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say, right? So it is very important to celebrate your small wins and to pat yourself. However, you have to be very mindful कि आप अपने आप को उतना खुश तो नहीं कर रहे हो जो after action आना चाहिए. That feeling, that should come after you perform the action. वो वाली feeling अपने आप को मत दो. So be smart enough that way. And you already are grounded. I'm sure this is going to help you.
The next question we'll take from Aishwarya.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I have this very, specific question though, but it's like, see, I had this friend, so she used to be very thankful, like always. So I've learned from her to be thankful to people. So there was this time in my life where I was working with the space of people. So whenever I used to be thankful to them, maybe say a text, oh, they send me an email and I got it. And after that, I have like a very specific topic. So they'd be like, you don't have to say thank you for it. So I'd be like, no, that's a very, or maybe difficult situations wherein we do, like you said, specifically say thank you. So because of the fact that I have learned to be grateful and I've understood how gratitude really works, like it has worked for me very greatly. So I've been very conscious about it and I put and take efforts over it. So there's this time I did those things and then they were like, you're being too formal. So, they gang up against you and then they'd be like, no, 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 you're too formal, so you can't be in a gang. But it's like there's only limited people and you have to work with them. But then this ganging up, no, it gets to you then after a certain point, because they're like, abhi ye to bahut formal hai, isse nahi baat karte. She's like, I mean, there are certain etiquettes and ethics that I really do follow, because I feel as a growing individual, I'm like in my 20s. So people look into these matters at a very late stage. So I thought, like, I do watch a lot of videos and all for like self growth, because in my school days we didn't have that much of an exposure. So when I got into college, here and there I did get away from myself. So after my 12th, I had to suddenly take a decision on what course I have to take further. So during that time, I did a lot of self compassion and gratitude, and that kind of grounded me. I knew that nothing or nobody can help you other than yourself. It has to be only you and you. So this formal thing, it got to me very badly, and I was like, yeah, they don't even think that I'm their friends, like I'm being so formal. So it's like very questionable to myself ki yaar, because maybe they don't understand how it works. But this one fine time, there was this friend, because he was maybe he was providing everything that he had, like material. We had to share our materials in college days. So he used to do that, but none of them would thank him. They'd be like, हाँ इससे ले लो, इससे मिल जाएगा, but किसी और से तो मिलना ही नहीं, because people are very selfish. In college, they don't give you material and they're very into themselves. कि हाँ मुझे जितना, the jealous factor comes in. So this one time when he shared with me, he happened to say thank you. He's like, at least तूने तो thank you बोला. So I understood how that little thing, it did matter to him. Then this made me again more conscious, and so I was like very questioned again. Maybe should I follow this with my close friends or no? Because see, people think हाँ ये बहुत formal हो रही है, so they don't want you to come in because they are not like that. So I was, and it's very young, like I'm just 20. So many questions कि मैं ऐसे रहूँ कि ना रहूँ, formal रहूँ कि informal रहूँ, because it's just that friends that you have. So in this case, what can one do?
Yeah, so thank you, Aishwarya, for sharing your story with me. And trust me, I could picture myself at 20 and feeling the same way. Because like I mentioned, it happened to me by accident, and that's how my life has been. I've always been grateful, and I've also been ganged up against. And especially when you are in your 20s, I was working, and that's when I these were the things that were thrown at me always. Why are you so formal? Why are you a specific way? And I would not be invited to a lot of things. But today at 28 plus, I understand that who is sleeping better? I am sleeping better. My sleep is more peaceful. And I don't boast when I say this, but a lot of people are still stuck in the same things that they were when they were 20. I have moved on. I have grown tremendously. So I know you could feel a certain way at this age, but in the long run, it is going to help you. Okay, so you're not doing anything wrong and you are not supposed to stop it. And I must congratulate you again for doing this at 20. You're so young, wherein people are partying and, doing a lot of other things. You are investing in yourself. So you are a way ahead. And when I say a way ahead, I mean it in your own way, like not comparing you to others, because very soon you will realize the competition is with yourself. There is no competition. It's all in our heads. There's nobody running a race, right? So whatever helps you is what is important. So if you are sleeping better, if you are feeling better, it's absolutely all right. Okay. And coming about कि हाँ ज़्यादा formal हो जाता है, friendly, you have just a certain set of people. I would say make it like that. Be your normal, how you are otherwise, informal. वैसे भी रहो आप. But when it comes to sharing your notes on gratitude, or when thanking somebody, do that also. I am a crazy friend when I'm with others, when I'm with my close circle. I really am like that. but does not mean that I forget what etiquette is and what, I will go on and hurt somebody. So that friend story that you shared, कि उसको बुरा लगा ना कि कितने लोगों ने उसको thank you नहीं बोला. So don't be that friend, right? So what you're doing is already fine. What you can do is just maybe बाकी की पर्सनालिटी आप उतनी इनफॉर्मल मत करो. इनफॉर्मल का मतलब हमेशा ये नहीं होता कि आप एटिकेट ब्रेक कर रहे हो, एथिक्स ब्रेक कर रहे हो. एटिकेट हमारा just means that we are respecting people and we are making them comfortable. So agar your formalness is making others uncomfortable, then you may need to change that, right? But that does not mean कि आप अपने आप को बुरा फील कराएं उसके लिए, या फिर आप कुछ वैसा करें which your value system does not allow you. So you have to calculate it yourself. I hope that answers.
Yes, I'm sure it does, Rhythm.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we take a couple of more questions, Sukirti?
Sure. Let's. Amita has one. Siddharth has one.
All right.
So we can take both of them.
Okay. So Amita.
Yeah. Hi, Tina. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. And well, I have a question for Rhythm.
Yes.
Rhythm, good evening. Hi. And thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. And I'm so enlightened to hear things you've spoken on gratitude. But well, I have instances where I've shown gratitude, I've given gratitude in little or more ways. But exactly what is gratitude in your point of view? And what are the tips? Like, not everybody will accept gratitude. Maybe there's some who will not. So, in a general way, in what way can you, would gratitude be helpful?
Okay.
In whatever we think to be doing more, or like I said, I've done in little ways, but sometimes people take it, sometimes people don't take it. So I would just want your view and what are the tips and a general overview of gratitude in all ways or in any ways.
Sure. So gratitude is that deep feeling of thankfulness. So when I say that you have gratitude for someone, you have to respect them to how much they want to accept. Like even Aishwarya was talking. So maybe it's the same answer for you when you are thanking somebody, and if they only want a little, they don't want a full description of what all things you are thankful of, you don't give them, but you feel it in your heart, right? So you could practice, you could maintain a journal. That's the best way. Or if you don't like to write and if you don't like to spend that much time, just whenever you're sitting idle, maybe for 5 minutes, you think about what are the things that you are otherwise taking for granted. So being grateful is just about understanding that everything that we have enough. It's basically understanding that we have enough. And when we are thankful, our satisfaction level is there. So stress to bahut kam nahi ho jata hai usse. Right? So that is what I can tell you what gratitude really is, and it's for you. It's not for others. You're doing it for yourself. It may or may not make the other person that you're thankful to, may not make the other person feel good or great that way. They may even be offended, or they may even be like irritated, like in case of Aishwarya's friends, they feel a little agitated when she's thanking them. But it is for you. It is not for them. You are sleeping better. You are more peaceful. You are more satisfied. You have better levels of contentment, right? So see it as a powerful tool that you have to change your life, and not for others. The people whose vibes match or the frequencies match, they will understand and they'll be happy, right? So that is my answer to you.
So one last question we will take that has come privately, that how to differentiate between being self-centered and patting oneself on the back.
So self-centered, how we have this thing, self-care is not selfish, and I'm just going by the quote that we get. So a very good question here. Thank you so much to who's asked this question. So self-centered aapka tab hota hai when you are harming someone. When you are selfishness ya fir self-centered tab hota hai when you are not thinking about the people around you or how the others are going to feel, right? That is when you are more self-centered. And And patting oneself is कि आप अपने आप को appreciate कर रहे हैं. So till the time you're not harming someone intentionally, you are on the right path. You're not doing anything wrong. And that is where you can pat yourself on the back. And when you are aware कि आपके जो consequences हैं, what you are going to do, and the consequences are going to hurt someone, that is being selfish and that is wrong, right? And that is when you don't pat yourself. That is when you tell yourself that, okay, that is when you call yourself out कि यहाँ पर मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ और मुझे गलत नहीं करना चाहिए. And trust me, all of us, all the human beings on this planet know it inside their heart कि वो ठीक कर रहे हैं या गलत कर रहे हैं. It's only the courageous ones who listen to that voice. So you pat yourself when you know कि जो आप कर रहे हो ठीक है, उसके कुछ intentionally किसी को hurt नहीं करोगे, and people are going to benefit from it. Maybe not at the moment, but later on. That is when you pat yourself. And when you are doing something which may hurt someone and which may not be good for the community and in a larger way, that is when you don't do that. So you have that voice telling you inside always. You just have to listen to it. That's my answer to the question.
I think very well answered, Rhythm. Makes a lot of sense. At least it does to me.
Thank you.
Okay. I think with that, we've overshot time, but it was such a beautiful session. And I'm sure that our participants and audience will agree with me, as we've got a lot of positive feedback about this session. And like I said, it will be heartwarming and it will be interesting, and it truly was. So I would like to thank you for this, Rhythm. I would like to also ask you for your final any thoughts or final tips before I say bye to you. And like I said, I have this great admiration for you for being so wise beyond your years and so grounded. So please share something with us before I say bye to you.
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. And I would say the same thing. I equally admire you, and I really mean that, because I know you've been there. We actually connected when I was going through a tough time in my life during the COVID scene. So that's when you really realize, and that's when you really learn about a person. So thank you so very much for that. And for today, on my last words, I would just say that I believe pandemic has made us realize that the only thing we need right now is being kind to each other. And with the whole session today, I want to tell you that it all starts within. If you are not clapping for yourself, you will not be clapping with the same intensity for somebody you love. If you're not loving yourself enough, you're not going to love others. If you're not kind to yourself, no matter how much you try to be kind to others, it will not happen. So if you want to make a difference, and if you want to make the world the way you have envisioned, you have to start with yourself. So those are my last words. Those are my concluding thoughts, that be good to yourself, be genuinely good to yourself. And also, in the last question that I mentioned, do not be afraid to call yourself out also, right? Agar hum apne aap ko pat kar sakte hain back pe, we also should be calling ourselves out on the things that we are not doing right. So that is how we become, that is how we evolve, and that is how we experience the human experience that we are supposed to have. So that's about it. Thank you so much to everyone for joining in today. I mean, it was lovely. Thank you for participating, and for all the questions that have come my way. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much.
With that, thank you so much once again, Rhythm. It was a beautiful, heartwarming session. You're a beautiful person inside out. And my takeaway from today's sessions are two. One, to listen to our conscience, and one, to change that narrative that, do unto others as you would like, to have them do unto you, but to start being kinder and nicer to yourself as well. That's where it starts from. So thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. And with that, I bid all of you a very good evening. Bye for now.
Bye.